You know, I'm surprised. For all the trash movies that are hyped up, like this one is actually not even that bad. And I feel like no one even knows about it. The War Boys. Now, the War Boys is about a group of, it's basically three kids. I don't want to say kids, college age kids that are like, oh, they're like wannabe border patrols. So they have this group that's called the War Boys. So they go out and they're basically harassing like the illegals that are crossing because they don't have any real authority to arrest anyone. But they're like, oh, they help the border patrol. They do the little walkie-talkies and like, oh, we got him right here. You know, you gotta come and get him, and like stuff like that, like harassing people, like trying to live out their border patrol dreams. And then one day they just decide that they would just want to rob a whole truck of like a secret merchandise, televisions they say, and all hell breaks loose because they don't know what they actually have in there, what they really robbed. Now, this movie has had so much potential. Like, it could have been so much better than it was, and it still wasn't that bad, but it could have been so much better. Like, honestly, they could have added 20 more minutes to this movie. Like, that's how much it could have been more developed more. And I'm gonna name 3 main things that could have been developed more. I loved the relationships that were in the movie. I really felt some of them had very strong on-screen chemistry. Like, I'm not gonna lie, when I've watched a lot of romantic romance movies, and I feel like some of these characters had better romance than the stupid romance movies, and this isn't even that much of a romance movie. Now, the other thing is, I just feel like there's like the random plot holes, and it's like, oh, you know, we're building up this plot, and then another scene comes in and they just forget about it, you know. Oh, you know, what can you do? Like, it just passes, and I'm like, wait, but why did you want to even bring that storyline in? And this happens a lot with the relationship with the Mexican boy that's in the War Boys and the older woman. That really could have been developed better. Like, I feel, especially how they wrapped it up, it just felt like they ran out of time. And sure, I guess they could have. They're trying to get a time limit for the movie. I guess you ran out of time. But like, I'm not one for rushing these things. That one could have been pushed a bit more. And if you really wanted to make something like genuine from that, then it really could have been. In the effort not to spoil too much. If you have a reason for watching this movie from like YouTube videos, then you'll know which relationship I'm talking about. But that one was like amazing. That relationship was like perfect. The actors had great on-screen chemistry, and it was like better than the romance films. Like, honestly, I can't even say that there's no criticism for it. The only thing I would say is like I'm conflicted because it's not a romance movie per se. So I can't say, oh, you should have built it more, because that's not the point. But if it was a romance movie, I would have loved to have seen it built more. Like, honestly, like, it was really good, that particular storyline. But that's another good pro that it has lots of storylines to follow. So if you're not really vibing with one storyline, then you can see kind of another person. You can see like, oh, the sisters, where she's going. You can see each of the War Boys in their own little past and their own families, and like how they have their own problems, and like even the people in the local community. And it's like, you know, you can see the problems where it's like, this is a 2009 movie, so they were showing some more like racial issues, which I think is fine, because I don't mind if you show racial issues if you're not just virtue signaling. And I think a lot of those, it really had a good impact. And even if they tried to portray like some of the War Boys as racist, I'm glad that they like show that they were willing to learn from their mistakes. Which, to be fair, I don't even know if one of them was like racist. I think he was just frustrated sexually, I'm not gonna lie. And he was just being a dingling because he was sexually frustrated. That's really, I don't even think, even though he said racist things, obviously, I just think it was based on being like, you know how it is. Sometimes people do stuff not because they're like, they hate you, just because something else is going on in their life. And I really think that was one of those situations. But, you know, I didn't like the ending. I feel like the ending was too open for a movie that is not going to have a sequel. And it's the problem is they had, you know, there's the movie plot where it's like you go to the climax and there's a falling action. The falling action didn't exist. They just climax and then end. I'm like, what? Really? You have to take advantage of the climax and do the falling action, which is like after the climax of the movie, so you can like start coming down. But no, they just removed that, and I don't think that was good. That was not a good way to end it without a falling action, because you can't just end at the climax unless you want. If you're trying to do a sequel, that's a cop-out, but you can end at the climax if you're trying to do a sequel, if you were trying to cop-out. But I'm pretty sure they're not trying to do a sequel for this, and you wouldn't be able to do a sequel really anyways, because it just ended like right at the climax. So either way, I think it's hard to rate because I'm gonna have to give it a 7, because even though it has some problems, like a lower movie would be like a 6 out of 10 movie or a 6.5. I just feel like its strengths are just so, it has some categories that are just so strong that just push it up from a 6 out of 10 movie to a 7 just because of those categories. It's overall enjoyable. And not many people have seen it. Watch it, The War Boys. Alright, I'll see you in the next one.